Hello everybody, my name is Mike. I'm the ground beef chief. Today I got for you guys a 40-week update on my carnivore weight loss journey. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys what drinking did to me while being on carnivore. Show you guys my weigh-in before I started drinking on last weekend, and then I'll show you guys the weigh-in I did before I started the fast, and then I'll show you guys my weight today. So let's start off with my weight before I started drinking. All right, so as you guys can see, I got down to 496. Everything was going great. I was on the lion diet, so I was only eating meat, nothing else. And one quick side note about the lion diet, I think that's the route I'm going to take from here on out. So it's still carnivore, it's just a little bit stricter version of carnivore where all you eat is meat. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the lion diet since I feel best on that, believe it or not. All right, now this is the weight right before I started the fast, and I was really dreading stepping on the scale because I knew the damage that I had done over that weekend of drinking. So here's the weight before the fast. All right, so as you can see, I got up to 506 pounds. Just from drinking for 3 days, I gained 10 pounds. Obviously, that weight wasn't fat. That was all water weight because it's impossible to gain fat that fast. It was probably a little bit more than 506 pounds because that was actually after the first day of fasting that I got my weight because I forgot to step on the scale. So I did a 72-hour fast. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to feel like I was starving, but actually it was exactly what my body needed because I didn't feel hungry the entire time. It's like I just felt like crap from drinking, you know. By the last day of the fast, I was really feeling hungry, and so that's when I ended it after exactly 72 hours. But okay, now I'm going to show you guys my weight this morning, and it's a little bit better. All right, so this morning I was 503 pounds. So that's after fasting for 3 days and then jumping right back to carnivore. So I'm headed back down to under 500. So I am going to predict that I'm going to be back under 500 by next week's video. I really hope I am because it took a lot of work just to get under 500. If you guys have been following me, I've been sticking with carnivore and been working, and I've been exercising, and I've just been working really hard towards my goal. And my goal is 280 pounds, maybe 260. We'll see how I look and feel at 280, but I'm gonna say 280 and then get skin removal surgery, and then I'll probably take another 20 plus pounds off me. Why is that my goal weight? I got a lot of people wondering what my goal weight is and why it's that weight. So 280 is my goal weight because I'm 6'5". I have a brother who is 6'7", and he is 300 pounds, and he looks really good at 300 pounds. He doesn't look, skinny. He doesn't look fat. He looks like he's a healthy weight. And so I figure that 280 for me would probably be a good goal weight. And plus, if I get the skin removal surgery, that'll take some more weight off me. I know a lot of people are saying, you need to fast. That'll help with your skin removal surgery. I like how you guys are all really positive, but I have my doubts that that's going to help with my excess skin just because I've been overweight my whole life. I mean, I have stretch marks, and I'm loose and saggy everywhere, and I'm only down 150 pounds now, and I don't really have that high hopes to not have excess skin, you guys. But we'll see when the time comes. But I'm telling you guys, if you guys saw me with the shirt off, you'd be like, yeah, you're going to need some skin removal surgery. All right, so now let's get into my weekend of drinking. So my dad came to town. I told you guys he's coming to town, and I might drink and I might not drink. Well, my dad doesn't really drink. He quit drinking before he came up here. It's not like he wasn't that big of a drinker to begin with. Maybe a couple times a week he would drink. But one thing me and my dad always enjoyed together was drinking. And yeah, we could have found something else to do, but we had other family. Like I had my stepbrother, my sister-in-law, my stepsister. We saw the whole family, and everybody was drinking. So me and my dad both were peer pressured into doing it, and it turned into a weekend long thing. So from Friday night to Sunday night, I was pounding back some beers, almost like I never stopped drinking before I started Carnivore. So I was pounding back beers. To give you guys an idea how much, I think somewhere around 100, maybe more. So I know Friday night I bought two 12-packs and they were gone. And then I went to the bar, walked down to the bar with my friend and his girlfriend, and we sang karaoke. And no, I don't normally sing karaoke, but when I'm drunk, I kind of have like a different personality, and it's not bad. It's just like I'm more outgoing and I'm funny and stuff. So we sang karaoke, and I drank at that bar probably another, I don't know, I spent $160 and beer was $3.75 a beer, and I tipped the bartender $20. So I spent $160 at the bar. So you do the math on that. So Friday night I went all out. Come Saturday, I had, as you can imagine, the worst hangover that you can ever dream of. You know, the absolute worst hangover you can think of. And so I took some ibuprofen. I got up, and then I went and met up with my dad, and then we went out to watch the Steelers football game. I'm a Steelers fan. My dad's a Steelers fan. Basically, my whole family's Steelers fans. So we went out to a sports bar, and I was drinking beer the whole night Saturday. I mean, basically from like 6 p.m. all the way up until, well, I'd probably say 2 in the morning. Come home. Sunday comes around. Obviously, I'm still hungover. At this point, I'm feeling like I'm loaded with water. Like at this point, I feel like my legs were like 5-gallon jugs of water. And I'm like, oh man, I'm really doing myself in here. And I had the worst cramps that night. I was actually on the floor praying to God to take the cramps away. It felt like the muscles in my legs were tying knots around one another. It's like they were being tied in knots. That's what it felt like. So I took a bunch of potassium and magnesium. The cramps stopped about 20 minutes after I took that. And Sunday was the last night I could spend with my dad. And so, you know, I bought another 2 12-packs of beer. We had a fire with the whole, you know, that whole side of my family. And we were all just pounding back beers and just having a good time, telling stories. So about another 2 12-packs, drank those. And then I had to go into my dad's beer. And my dad drinks Busch, yuck. And I probably drank, I don't know, 10 more Busch. And then at the end of the night, I was so messed up that I was walking to my friend's car for him to take me home, and I tripped and fell over a log, and my chin broke my fall. I thought I broke my jaw at first, and it was just. Anyways, I had a fun weekend. Was it worth it? I wish I would have drank less. I wish that we could have found something to do, have, you know, something to do without drinking, but it's all right, you know. I haven't drank in over a year, and so it'll be at least another year before I do that again. All right, so my family hadn't seen me since I was over 600 pounds. Actually, my dad and my stepmom and my stepbrother, they hadn't seen me since I was 650 pounds plus pounds. So we don't know my true starting weight. It was it was at least 650. We know that. So when I first got there, my dad comes up to give me a hug, and he said, "Holy shit!" I don't know how much he actually believed me that I was, you know, losing weight, but he told me I looked good. The whole family said that I looked way better than I did last time. They said I look happy now. I definitely feel way better, and I definitely feel way happier than I did when I was 650 pounds. I wasn't as self-conscious being in public either. I wasn't crawling in my skin, so to speak, when I was around everybody and when I was in public. So that was really nice. That's definite big self-esteem improvement, you know. I was even flirting with women at the bar, you know. Yeah, so the family noticed that I looked really good. They noticed I dropped a bunch of weight. My friend's girlfriend hadn't seen me since I was 650 pounds. So she saw me before we went out to the bar. She told me, she's like, "You look really good." And I was like, "Thank you. You know, I appreciate it." I don't really know how to take compliments like that. But yeah, no, it made me feel good. And I tried not to make the whole, you know, everything about me and my weight loss. So I was kind of trying to keep the conversations away from my weight loss. Yeah, everybody asked me how I did it. And I told them, you know, I'm on this carnivore diet. as per usual, people are really skeptical. They're like, "You lost all that weight eating meat?" And I was like, "Yeah, I eat beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, and dropped 155, almost 155 pounds." And they're like, "Wow, aren't you worried about a heart attack or anything?" And I was like, "Listen, I don't want to. I don't have the time to explain all the science to you guys, but just know that eating high fat is not dangerous as long as you're not having carbs and sugar. Because as you guys know, when you have carbs and sugar, when you're eating high fat, the sugar oxidizes the fat, and that causes high inflammation in your arteries, and then cholesterol comes and builds up in your arteries. It thickens your arteries, and that's what causes heart disease and stuff like that. So without the sugar and carbs and the inflammation, you're not gonna have any heart disease issues. There is heart surgeons that have been on Dr. Ken Berry's podcast, Dr. Anthony Chaffee's podcast. They've explained all that. I just want everybody to know this, that weekend of drinking with my dad, that doesn't define me. That doesn't define mine and my dad's relationship. We can do things that doesn't involve drinking beer. This weekend, that's just what we ended up doing, and I wish that I lived near to my dad. I wish I lived near to my mom. I miss my parents so much, and I'm only up here right now because my grandma, but I would give anything to live in Florida with my parents, being by them. Ever since my dad went back to Florida, I've been depressed. And my mom's supposed to come up next month, and I know it's going to be the same thing. I got to go through the depression again. I just miss my family terribly. But anyways, you guys, I got right back on the train. That's the most important thing. So if you're doing carnivore and you ever decide to have a weekend or one night of fun, just know that it's probably going to set you back a few weeks. That's what it did. Actually, it set me back like a month of weight loss. So hopefully next week I'll be back down to 496 or lower. I'm just going to do the lion diet this week and hope that back under 500 for the next weigh-in. I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want to let myself down. And I just want to be healthy. I can tell you guys this, after this weekend, I know that I'm going to have to stick to carnivore the rest of my life. I have no problem doing that. I love eating what I eat on carnivore. But just based on the results after one weekend of doing this, I know that I'm going to have to stick to it the rest of my life. Oh, and as a side note, I don't think I mentioned it. That weekend that I drank, I didn't go off of carnivore. So I stuck to carnivore that entire weekend, even though I was drinking, because I didn't want to take the chance to get, for anything to set me off in regards to my food addiction that I've struggled with my whole life. So I stuck to eating only carnivore before I left. Like, for example, on Saturday before I left, I made myself a chuck roast, ate it. Or we went out to a smokehouse where I had smoked ribs, smoked chicken thighs, pulled pork, and chicken wings, smoked chicken wings. And so, and it was so much. I mean, it was like 5 pounds of meat. I couldn't even finish it all. So I brought some home to my grandma. And then we went to a winery, and when we ordered our food, I just ordered 4 hamburgers, no bun, just plain hamburgers, and I couldn't even finish all 4 because they were huge. So the whole weekend I stuck to carnivore. So I just want you guys to know, when I did go off the deep end last weekend, I was still eating carnivore. I just drank the beer, and the beer is what did the damage, okay? But I would imagine if you went off of carnivore and ate food, it'd be just as bad, just by eating food and not even drinking. Just so keep that in mind, you guys. But that's what I got for you guys this week. I'm sorry that I didn't reach you guys last week. I was busy the whole weekend with my dad. I just didn't have the time to make the video. Now I'm going to post this video. This video is not going to be out till late because I just woke up at 5 and it is like 6:30 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, and I will see you guys again next weekend. Thanks for watching.